Hello everyone, my name is Miriam Lazarte. I'm the CEO of Latam Startups, and today we have a special info session for those that are applying for the Express Bootcamp Toronto. This is a special webinar because we noticed many people had a lot of questions about, what is the scope of the Express Bootcamp and what they should expect with this bootcamp. So we're going to do a very small session here explaining in specific what is the purpose of this bootcamp and what we have done in the past. At this point, we have run several bootcamps for international startups, and this is why we want to present this webinar to you guys, just to make sure everybody is on the same page and everybody understand what is going to be the activities that we are going to have around this bootcamp. So first of all, why to attend the bootcamp? Why to apply to the bootcamp? For many international companies, this is a very specific question because it's very difficult to enter to the North American market, and many times you don't have the right tools and information to understand better the real possibilities for your company to come to this market. Many times in Latin America, many companies are not really ready to enter to North American markets. So it's very important for people to understand what are the real possibilities out there. So if you don't know the North America as your market, this bootcamp can help you to understand better what are the real possibilities to expand. So the bootcamp is happening from May 15 to May 17. And after that, we actually are going to have a major event here in North America, which is the biggest event that has happened here in North America. Is the Coalition Conference. The Coalition Conference is very important for many companies that are coming here. So we also have like a specific sorry about that, a specific question, a specific discounts for startups that are applying for that to enter to Coalition Conference. It's going to be 25,000 people attending the conference. So we are hoping that after the bootcamp, many people will continue coming to the Coalition Conference here in Toronto. Now, the second thing why you should attend this bootcamp is because you like to also learn possibilities to get funding in the market. Many people also have the misconception that angel investment is something relatively easy to get, and you just have to show up and talk with a few investors and you get your funding. This is more like a myth than something that really happens in real life. So it's important for people to understand how the investment ecosystem works, not just here in Canada, but in the US as well. So if you really, have possibilities and how you can actually get to the attention of those angels. The second thing is also to be aware about the grants and tax credits that the government of Canada are giving to companies that are establishing business here. There are so many grants in the market, more than 100 grants. Of course, not all of them apply for all companies, so it depends on specifically the profile of the company and what they have, they're in the market for them to grow. So, but certainly there is a lot of funding available for international companies, and you should be aware about that. The other topic is about incorporation and immigration. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in the next slides. So I'm not going to go deep on that right now. You like to connect with the ecosystem. You also like to know about potential customers and connect with some angels for future relationship with them. So this is a great time to do it because we are bringing corporations and angels to the LATAM conference this year. And this year, we're growing the conference up to 600 people attending from different countries in Latin America and as well the US and Canada, local people that are attending to the conference. Do you like to know also about incubators and accelerators and innovation centers that we have in the market? We have too many, in specific here in Toronto and Ontario. We have more than 50 incubators and accelerators. So you can, probably select one that is going to be your best fit. We as well are an accelerator incubator here in the market that specifically works with Latin American startups. But besides us, there are so many others. We have the #1 business incubator in the world, DMC Ryerson, that is linked with a university. We have the #1 accelerator in the world that is linked with a university as well, and that's Yeti. And we have the largest innovation center in the world in the square meters, as well the largest IoT manufacturing center in Waterloo in the world as well in the square meters. So there is a lot of for you to meet up in this ecosystem. It's the second largest ecosystem, tech corridor in the world. So you will learn and connect with best people you can have here. And showcase your company, because at the conference you will have the opportunity to have your booth and have enough exposure for your company, and in that way you can connect with so many people during the conference and after the conference, but you can certainly showcase your startup. We have in the past in total in our programs 34 startups that have passed through the program, and has been amazing experience for us. So we are actually trying to select the best for this specific Express Bootcamp here in Toronto. So if you're one of those companies and all what I just said makes sense for you, then you should apply. So I'm going to go for what is going to be the first day. The first day we're going to have some workshops. And as I mentioned in the previous slide, we're going to talk about angel investment, and specific here in Canada. So you have some information and awareness about how to approach to angels here, what they are looking for, and how you should be prepared actually to present to angels. Grants and tax credits is also another workshop that we have with a specific corporation that is helping us to show what are the alternatives in grants and tax credits for companies that are establishing business here. And Incorporation and Immigration. The Incorporation and Immigration really depends in case by case. There are companies that they are not willing to incorporate in Canada. They are just looking for partners in the market. And there are others that actually are looking to expand, and they look for second quarters, and somehow access to the US market as well. And something that is not going to be extremely expensive, as probably San Francisco is or New York is. Those are huge markets for medium-sized or small-sized businesses. So really, Canada represents a great point of entry for many international companies. So Incorporation and Immigration goes along. It depends of case by case, but that's why we have, some lawyers, they come, they interact with you, they try to find what is your specific case in order to help you better with your questions. So the second day is when we have the conference, that is in May 16th. We have confirmed already our keynote interview, which is Randy Thompson. We're very proud to have him at the conference. He was named the Angel Investor of the Year 2018 during the NACO Summit, which is NACO is the largest network of investors in Canada. They have over 3,000 investors in the network, and we are members of NACO. So Randy has been very actively doing investments, co-investments, I will say, with Latin American companies and Latin American angel funds. So this is going to be an excellent opportunity to approach to a great investor and great person that that really appreciate what is the talent that we have in Latin America in specific. So he of course has investments as well in Canada and other countries. So will be a great keynote interview in general. So, and then the second day as well, you have the opportunity, as I mentioned before, to have your booth, and interact with the potential customers, potential partners, other angels and corporations that are coming to the conference. Also, we have very good friends with different governments, Latin American governments, and Canadian government, not just in the federal level, but also, in the local level. We actually have an MOU with the City of Toronto, and the City of Toronto has backed up our programs. So they are actively promoting, to bring international startups here to Toronto, and we work very close with the City of Toronto. Okay, so we go to the next slide. And the third day is actually when we have the Startup Ecosystem Tour, Toronto and Waterloo. These tours are very, very specific. Unfortunately, we cannot have too many people attending these tours. This is why we try to select, very well the group that are going to these tours. This is because the size of the incubators and accelerators sometimes is very, very challenging to have more than 25 people. So we are, usually having groups of 25, 28 people at max. The tours usually are sold very, very fast, because every year we get a lot of people coming here. We have one year when we have like 40 people attending the tour, and we couldn't really, manage all the specific logistics of the tour at that time. So that's why we are stretching up the tour to 25 people. So if you are selected to come for the Express Bootcamp, you will have a spot to go to one of the tours, either the one that is happening in Toronto or the one that is going to happen in Waterloo. So many international companies, they don't know what is the difference between Toronto and Waterloo. Waterloo is a city that is 2 hours from Toronto. It's part of the tech corridor that we have here in Ontario. And Waterloo basically is the brain of the ecosystem, is where all the cutting-edge technology is happening. Most of the research and development is happening there. Toronto is more the accelerator part. It's more like the financial center, and is where all the financial activity, and when you are in a commercialization phase, all that happens here. In Waterloo, we have those companies that they have growth a lot, and they have a lot of research and developing happening there. So we have, for example, in Waterloo, Shopify. We have Accelerator Center, Community Tech, the largest IoT center in square meters that I also mentioned in the first slide. And so we visit, as much as we can in Waterloo. This is a whole day there. And we probably are not going to visit more than 4 centers, because each one takes between 45 minutes to 1 hour to actually visit the center and to get information. And this is why, we try to select the best, and so you can, have a sense. Same happened in Toronto. So we also visit the best. We try, to connect you with those incubators and accelerators and innovation centers that really are, have a potential for companies coming up here. What do you do? What do you need actually to apply for the program? So you need to be a tech company. This is very important for us. Unfortunately, we don't work with traditional companies. We work just with those that are working in specific in tech. It could be any sector in tech. We are agnostic in that way. So it can be biotech, could be agricultural technology, it could be IoT, fintech, any of those, but it must be tech, because our conference and our ecosystem and what is our expertise is in that area. So you need to be based in Latin America, Canada, or in the USA. We have many times companies applying from, some other countries in Europe and other places. But unfortunately, we don't have the, it's very difficult to extend an invitation letter. For example, for somebody from Africa or from Middle East to come here, because, our organization is very focused in Latin America. We have an office in New York, and that's why we also accept companies from the US, and we have a large Latin American community in the US. So we try our best to select companies that have that background, and of course Canadian companies can also apply for the program. Now, for those that English is your second language, you need to have a conversational English. You don't need to have a perfect English. You can see my accent here. It's not exactly like perfect English. I'm trying my best as well to communicate. So as far as you can have conversational level, just go ahead and apply, and we will see case by case. And of course, you have to have the funds to cover the program. The program costs $495 American dollars for 2 co-founders, which is a great deal for companies that are coming here in a specific, taking in consideration that is 3 days that you are going to be learning and connecting and basically meeting so many people and the ecosystem. Of course, you have to have funds to travel and to have something for accommodation. In a specific accommodation, it's going to be challenging. That's why we are closing applications tomorrow, because for companies, for people that are coming here, May, June, July are months that are very, very busy in the city. So you need to actually start looking for accommodation with enough time. Flights can be, can be different depending of which country are you coming from. It's important to notice that if you are a citizen of Mexico, Brazil, or Chile, you don't really need like a visa. You need an ETA, and we can guide you through the process to get that. The ETA is much easier. It's basically an electronic travel authorization that you can do online, and it costs like $7. And most of the time, you get the authorization to travel in the next few hours. We have seen cases, and sometimes it takes 1 or 2 days more. It all depends that if you have previous travels to North America, either Canada or the USA, and it depends really of the system at the moment. So we are for those other countries or other citizens that are coming from other countries in Latin America that don't have the ETA, but they need to apply for a visa. We are willing to pass an invitation letter so you can, process your visa. Invitations letters never, this is not like for sure you're going to get your visa, but most of the time, we never experience like a big rejection for the conference. It must be like it's a difficult case to actually look at. So that's why we are trying to just focus on Latin America, Canada, the US, because when we have people from other countries in the Middle East or Africa, it's very difficult to get visas for them under our program that is focused in Latin America. But when it comes from Latin America, usually it goes very smoothly. So that, again, doesn't mean that the invitation letter is going to give you the visa. We need to guide you through the process. But this is, we traditionally have sent invitation letters, and when people follow the instructions, there is no problem usually with their visas. Saying that, we select just 5 companies that we believe have the best fit for the conference and for the North American market, that we believe that we can help them. So in that way, each company has the potential to have maximum 2 co-founders accepted into the program. So what else you have to do is just apply today or tomorrow, because tomorrow is really the last day. We have extended the application deadline just because the last deadline was December 31st, and it was very challenging for some people that were on holidays to actually apply for the program. So this time we really need to close applications on January 15 to the accommodation challenges, and as well trying to prepare all that we have to do in order to get the Express Bootcamp successful for companies that are coming here. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. We hope that this information session will give you some details that you needed to decide whether or not this is a good program to apply for your company. But if you have more questions, or would like to have more details regarding the program, please just send us an email, contact@latamstartups.org. We accept emails in English and Spanish, but please take in consideration that all the sessions are going to be in English. So in that way, we don't want to promise you that this is going to be in easy Spanish or Portuguese. We cannot do that. But we hope that your company has a good fit for this program, and if you're ready to scale up and you're ready to go global, please come here, and we are willing to help you. Thank you so much for your attention.